Wilson. We are here with Diesel Performance Podcast, and I am going to be recording several of our next episodes live from Ultimate Callout Challenge. Has this been called the Mecca of Diesel Performance? Absolutely. Has this been called a collection of the biggest and baddest trucks in diesel? Absolutely. And I can say for a fact, seeing them line up here at the drag strip Friday morning, bright and early, we are already seeing some of the regular UCC shenanigans. We're going to be following up with some details about some of the guys' first hits. I'm looking down at Turbo Tom lined up at the track now. Guys, you know this truck. We talked to Tom. This was absolutely an amazing build, and to be able to watch it on YouTube and see every part of it be built, I think just makes all of us feel a little bit more connected to this build and see what it's going to do. And I know there's been a lot of talk in the pits about expecting some big-time performance from this truck. I do want to say I'm squinting real hard, and it looks like he's rocking a calibrated power sticker on the door. Big shout-out to Turbo Tom. Thank you much. Love to see it, guy. Turbo Tom ripping down the track. What I love about Tom's truck is it looks clean as it goes. It hooks up, it grabs, it shimmies down the track. I know he just set a new personal best. Guys, we'll be getting back to you with some updates after everybody's been through a full round. I want to say absolutely no hiccups in that run. He staged it at the lane. He lit it up, and as soon as that tree dropped, he was down the track in a heartbeat. We got Trevor Peterson, T-Pain, coming up next. So, guys, this year for UCC, they have set it up a little bit different than back in 2019. Looks like we're not going to see a lot of heads-up racing. Instead, what we're going to get is different sessions throughout the day of allowing all of the competitors to go out and try to put down their best time. Now, once they have their best time, the real question for each competitor is, do they want to try to beat it? Turbo Tom on his first hit just set a record for himself. Is he going to want to come back out this afternoon, or as it gets a little bit cooler this evening maybe? I don't know. Hot track, hot weather, or cold track, cold weather. Bit of a trade-off there. Now as I'm watching Trevor Peterson run down the track, I love that he did not care about the tree, which is the best way I could recommend to do this. However, I saw him pedaling out there at the end. So definitely think he's going to have more in it. This may have just been a test hit for him. Hopefully there's no catastrophe to deal with. What I will say is that as we see truck after truck go up here and make these passes, the track has a tendency to change as well. So we start to see that track get hotter, tires get stickier, but also the weather is hotter, so you're getting less oxygen per cubic inch. So there is that expectation that on a really hot and humid day, these guys are not going to want to be racing in the peak heat. So that may be when we see the slowest times. We may see some of the fastest hits here this morning. So that's going to be a different strategy for each racer. Now, when we talked to Trevor, I tried to bait him into several fights and disagreements with other competitors. Too nice of a guy to do it. Justin Ziegler is now lining up at the track, guys. We talked to Justin. Unfortunately, we had a bit of a catastrophe with some of our media storage, and we lost that interview. So there is an absolutely phenomenal, I would say the best we've ever done interview that was lost to the ways of technology snafus. However, now that we see Justin Ziegler lined up at the track, he is somebody who I think everybody has a target on. I can't think of a single competitor we interviewed who didn't consider Justin Ziegler and this truck and this team being one of the top competitors to look out for. So this is gonna be an interesting pass to find out, is all this hype worth it? Obviously, when we talked to him, one of the things I asked him straight out was, I said, hey, Justin, a lot of guys have been saying that this is a truck built by Firepunk and you're the guy who cut the check. Absolutely not true. He was very adamant that while he has had help from a lot of people, including Firepunk in some major ways, and wanted to give the whole Miller crew a shout out, this is a truck he has built. And I've actually seen Justin Ziegler on the other side of this equation and see him be the coach and see him be the one building the truck for Travis Richards back at DPC 2019. He was there. He had helped Travis with that truck and was there to kind of help him as a part of his team. And now that we see him lined up today, it is interesting to see him go from builder and coach to actual competitor. So he is lined up at the track now, getting set on the staging lines, and we should be ready to set here in just a moment. Here we go, Ziegler staging. Bumps into the second stage light. Light drops. Very smart. Holds out. He's not racing the light. He's got nobody next to him. Little squirrely there as the shift hits up, but he locks down, settles in, smooth down the track. I'll try to squint down there and give you guys a time. We'll get those times posted up here for you guys in the near future. Stay tuned. I think that was going to be a hot hit. Well, an ultimate call-out challenge. We have drag racer, sled pulling, sled pullers drag racing. Now, guys, I think on a recent episode, Chris and I had talked a little bit about how much we love seeing a hardcore drag racer go out and hit the sled pull track, because what they have a tendency to do is get that chain tight and give it all the beans like the light just dropped and never let out till she stops, which is, if you've never been to a sled pull, it's a lot of fun to see a full-size 3/4 ton truck bounce its front wheels off the ground and snap things. So that is what we expect to see. Now, today is the drag race portion, so we're going to get to see a couple of the sled pullers put it down on the track. And I think probably the one everybody's looking to see is going to be Tony Burkhart in the last-minute hooker. Now, he may have his son Tyler driving. I'm not sure if I remember exactly what he said, if he would be behind the wheel or if Tyler would be behind the wheel. But I do know that he has recently set a record with this truck at the Rudy's event. So it is going to be interesting to see somebody who's come out of playing in the dirt, somebody who primarily, I think 3 years ago, had a handful of drag races under his belt, and now he has put together one of the fastest trucks in the country. And it just shows you can teach an old dog new tricks, which I wholeheartedly believe Tony would say about himself. And I'll tell you what, it looks like that is Tony down there lining a pilot up. I will assume that is Tyler behind the wheels. We'll definitely talk to him later and get a confirmation on that. Just like a true sled puller won't let somebody just line up at the line. He wants to actually pick the lane within the line. You might be thinking, oh, is this a multi-lane track? Yeah, there are 2 lanes, but we're only racing on the track side, on the tower side today. So here we go. Lights dropped. True sled puller does not care about a light. You don't tell him when to go. The truck will tell him when to go. Hear him building. Getting some RPMs. Oh, he's in it now. Standing on it. He's waiting for that cue, and there he goes. That ass end drop down as he runs down the track. 5.18. Absolutely amazing. There you go. Boys from Michigan showing up to UCC, putting it down in a big way. I think it's going to be quite the competition to see somebody come out and really see who's going to be the first one to break out of the 5s. Chris Buheider of Truck Source Diesels coming up to the track. Now, everybody else has so far run the tower side of the track. Of course, Tony Burkhart had to pick his own line on that side of the track. And I will be honest, as I think back to UCC, most passes are definitely made on the tower side. However, Buheider's no sled puller coming out here learning how to race. He is a legit, absolute competitor on the racetrack. That is where his experience is by far the heaviest. If I remember correctly, all of his sled pull experience includes a UCC event. So as he comes up and picks that other side, I wonder if he just wanted to be the first one to run that track, get the first set of tires on it, use up all that sticky spray they put down, maybe try to get that early morning pass as quick as he can. It is going to be interesting to see exactly what he can put together. I mean, obviously, Tony Burkhart came out, put down an amazing time. Justin Ziegler came out, put down a good time. Turbo Tom, I'm sure, has a solid time on the books. It's going to be real interesting to see, is the strategy spray and pray, get her down the track and hope she stays together right away in the morning so you have as much time as possible to fix whatever's broken? Or do you want to play it conservative? Do you want to be strategic? Do you want to see how she does first and do a shakedown test? Now, he's got the light dropping, but again, no competitor lined up, so he can take all the time he wants. Again, good squat in the back, keeps it square and straight, shooting like an arrow down the track. 5:53.9. That, I'll tell you what, that's still a damn good time. My guess is going to be that's not his fastest. We'll see if I'm wrong. Stick with us, guys. I think we got a few more competitors that are going to be making a pass for this morning's run. I'll keep you posted as each one of these trucks make it down the track. We're going to try not to give out any times in today's episode. Want to refer you back over to the live feed for Ultimate Callout Challenge to check out and see the absolute specific details. And then, of course, at the end of the day, we'll give you a rundown of where everything looks and talk about the times and the details for everybody's best run once we have the best runs on file. Guys, here we are getting into the later part of this early session of UCC running. Got a quad cab Duramax built out of Wisconsin, Miller built truck running down the track. I want to say something that sits up that high and looks that heavy, putting up what looks to be sevens down the track. Not something to be embarrassed about. I think the truck's got a lot of go in it. I definitely think he came here to prove that you could compete. I don't remember... I don't think he was coming in with the expectation of maybe necessarily putting everyone else to shame. More just wanted to come here and prove that he could be a competitor, that he could have a lot of fun, and that he could build a damn solid truck. And I want to say, for something that looks like it could also be parked in a Walmart parking lot, that truck was scooting. Wade Minner in Triple Max. Guys, we know Wade's going to put down a good time. We know he's going to put on a good show, and we know he's got a ton of experience, not only at UCC, but at the track in general. So seeing him run into the mid to low fives, I know that's going to be a lot of fun for him. The truck looked great, and it sounded just absolutely nasty. So we're excited. Here we are rolling. We got another truck coming up. We're going to see if Capital Diesel Performance is able to put it down in a big way here at UCC 2021. Whew, that was smoking. Capital Diesel Performance looking like they're lifting that front end as the truck sits down, gets steady, and flies down the track. It's going to be real interesting with so many guys sitting right on top of each other in that mid to low fives range. Who is going to continue to push throughout the day? Who is going to try to take this first place spot for the drag racing? Now, going in, every competitor we talked to said they wanted to stay conservative. They wanted to keep their truck together. They wanted to play for all 3 days. But the fact of the matter is that these guys are competitors. And once they're here and they see the guy in the pit next to them beat him by an eighth, beat him by a tenth of a second, they're going to want to get back out on the track, and they're going to want to keep pushing it, and I think we're going to see a lot more high-flying action here at Ultimate Callout Challenge 2021. Looks like we're going to get a few more competitors in here this morning for this first session of open drag racing. As I take a look at all of the trucks that are lined up, I'm going to give a shout-out to the guys at KC Turbo. I don't think we were able to get their team on for the podcast. I know everybody's just been super busy trying to keep up with everything that's going on. A lot of these guys are running businesses, running shops, and, building an Ultimate Callout Challenge truck. I remember just a few years back, KC Turbos was out here with a very impressive booth. Obviously, they do a lot of Ford turbos and a lot of cool stuff that I think that they're involved in. I think they got a great operation. It's going to be real exciting to see one of the few Fords in the competition try to put down some decent numbers. Now, this is I'm going to take a wild stab in the dark here. Totally blind Paul call. The smallest truck on the track today. I know he's got that short bed as short as it'll go. That thing is going to be fun to see out at the sled poles. Light drops. We got a lot of smoke, a lot of RPM. Here we go. It sits, it squats, it runs. Down the track he goes. KC Turbo coming in. Now, a lot of the track's been sitting right in that mid-5 section. Barring my bad eyesight, I want to say he's going to be right there in the game with them. And again, guys, these early hits, some of these guys are planning on hoping to make one hit for the day and be done. Some of these guys want to go out and do it over and over and over again. As we see another Cummins coming up to the track, I think we're going to see another competitor here who is ready to put down some serious times. All right, guys, we covered as many of the live passes as we could. We have some ODSS qualifying passes going on. And then I see, of course, the power-driven diesel guys rolling in. I think there's some scheduling we're working out at UCC this year. New format. Of course, we understand how it goes. Everybody wants to be on time, and, hey, sometimes that's just not possible. So I think we had a a bit of a pass there for ODSS qualifier. They're going to pull the ODSS guys off, and then I think they're going to give the Will Terry crew and the power-driven diesel boys a chance to run this mechanical dinosaur down the track and see if he could get in for his UCC run. All right, and now we got something interesting, folks, here. We got the UCC guys making some passes. Power-driven diesel ripping that dinosaur down the track. Little bit of hopping, scooting, booting, then she's down the line in the mid-sixes. I believe we had an attempt at a heads-up run there, but our other competitor, just a little bit of issues hitting the lights there, still made it down the track. Believe they are both still together. Don't see anybody throwing the warning flag, and they're not cleaning the track, so I think they're both going to be okay as we line up the next round of trucks here. All right, guys, as they put things together here, I believe that is going to wrap up UCC competitors' morning test hits. Now, if they wanted to keep one of those hits, they could keep them. They are still allowed to keep going throughout the day. We're going to get more and more sessions. Next up is we're going to be talking about some ODSS qualifiers, or I'm sorry, I believe this is just ODSS test and tune, giving these guys a chance to get on the track, give the fans some fun. Going to see a lot of cool trucks make some big hits here. I do apologize as I don't know the ODSS circuit quite as well. We'll try to bring in some content and get you guys some updates on who's competing and how's it going throughout the day. For now, this has been Paul Wilson with Diesel Performance Podcast. Stay tuned, guys. We got a lot more UCC action coming at you. Chris, people have been hearing us talk about Exergy Performance, well, since the start of the show.
Right, of course. They've been a believer since the inception, to say the least.
I know I just recently talked to Randy Harkema over there. Guys, of course, you recognize him from our snake oil or not fuel additive episode. He's one of the guys at Exergy that we rely on for technical expertise. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was really cool. I was just talking to him about going to UCC.
Okay.
You remember the booth that they bring to UCC every year?
Yeah, I remember 2019. They do this really cool engine stand with a Cummins, with their standalone, with a throttle, a hand throttle, and you can, be part of the engine operating. They start it, you can rev it and all that cool stuff. And I think it's really cool because it gives you that hands-on experience to say, hey, here's Exergy's fuel system, here's Exergy standalone, Bosch standalone, here's everything working.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you can't forget it once you've seen it.
I didn't push too hard to ask all the details because I like to walk around UCC and kind of be surprised by what I'm going to see. But I will just say that if you're going to UCC this year, make sure you go swing by the Exergy Performance booth. You're definitely going to want to check out what they have.
Oh, man, that's exciting.
Chris, you know WC Fab and WC Fab powder coating. It's going to be one of those places that if you've never heard of them and you go check out their booth at UCC, or if you go to their shop and kind of hang out and see even just the foyer, like the waiting room, you're going to be wildly impressed.
It's tough because you don't know if someone were to tell me, hey, they do all these crazy powder coat colors, they do compound turbo kits, triple turbo kits, intercooler piping kits, whatever. I am a very simplistic individual, so I have a basic thought process or picturing in my head of what's going on. And if you see their work in person, they're very meticulous with, their fabrication. The welding is superb. But their coloring options that they have from their in-house powder coating service is second to none. There's like 400 colors that they keep in stock.
Yeah.
All of their signature colors are, they're the most popular for a reason. They stick out the most. And I mean, Paul, man, over the years being at Calibrated Power, we have seen so many WC Fab trucks come and go, being on the dyno, things like that. And, I remember when I first started, it was exciting to see a 700, 800, or 1,000 wheel horse truck. And you just know if a truck's coming from WC Fab here, it's going to make big power. I normally just get excited for what kind of color schemes under the hood of the truck. But, you're going to get what you pay for. They offer a really good quality product, and they have a really good support staff. They're going to stand behind what they do. And I think that goes a long way, especially this day and age in this industry.
Absolutely.